Every great city has a flavor that defines it. In Toronto, a city built by the hands and dreams of immigrants, that flavor has long been Caribbean. From the smoky aroma of jerk chicken to the comforting warmth of oxtail gravy over rice and peas. For over 2 decades, one name stood above the rest as the undisputed king of the Caribbean fast food scene. Sunrise Caribbean Restaurant. At its peak, it was more than a restaurant. It was a landmark. It was the place where you'd see a line out the door at 1 a.m. on a Tuesday. It was the first to bring island time into the fast-paced world of North American drive-thrus. But today, if you mention Sunrise in a Toronto barbershop or community center, the reaction is different. You'll hear stories of legendary meals past, followed quickly by sighs of disappointment. How did a restaurant that started in a 690-square-foot shop grow into a 25-location empire? And why do many now say the sun is finally setting on this iconic brand? The year was 1995. The location, 4286 Kingston Road, Scarborough. The story doesn't start with a big corporate investment. It starts with a closing door. Lance Davenport was working at Toby's Good Eats, a popular Canadian burger chain. When the company began to struggle and eventually went under, Lance saw an opportunity where others saw a dead end. Lance wasn't alone. He teamed up with 3 friends, Kenneth McFarlane, Morris Kenlock, and Everald Robinson. Together, they founded the first Sunrise Caribbean restaurant. The space was modest, just 690 square feet, but what they lacked in square footage, they made up for in flavor and vision. At a time when Caribbean food was mostly found in hole-in-the-wall spots that were difficult for outsiders to navigate, Sunrise brought a level of professionalism and branding that was ahead of its time. They weren't just selling food, they were selling the island vibe. They offered breakfast, lunch, and dinner, catering to the early morning commuters looking for ackee and saltfish, or a warm bowl of cornmeal porridge. By the early 2000s, the Scarborough location became a local legend. It was the blueprint for what was to come. What made Sunrise so popular? It wasn't just the food, it was the accessibility. Sunrise achieved a massive first in North American history. They were the first Caribbean restaurant chain to offer a drive-thru. Think about that. In a culture where good food takes time, Sunrise figured out how to make it fast, without at least initially losing the soul of the dish. This was a game changer. Suddenly, you didn't have to find parking or wait in a cramped vestibule. You could get a large oxtail meal as easily as a Big Mac. They leaned into the value meal concept. In the early 2010s, you could get a value meal for under $10 that could easily feed 2 people. Compared to other Caribbean spots like The Real Jerk or Albert's, Sunrise was positioned as the McDonald's of the Caribbean, reliable, affordable, and everywhere. The expansion was aggressive. From Scarborough, they moved into North York, then Brampton, Mississauga, Oshawa, and even as far as Newmarket. At its height, the franchise network grew to 25 locations. Let's talk numbers. Historically, Sunrise was the budget-friendly option. While other restaurants were charging $18 or $20 for a large oxtail, Sunrise kept their prices lower for years. However, as the brand expanded through franchising, the cost of doing business changed. Today, a large oxtail meal at many Sunrise locations can run between $22 and $25. The value chicken meals, once the staple of the community, have crept up toward the $15 mark. When the prices began to match, or even exceed high-end Caribbean sit-down restaurants, the community started to look closer at what they were actually getting for their money. And that is where the cracks began to show. Why did Sunrise go from the most popular to not that great anymore? The answer is a cocktail of rapid expansion, inconsistent franchising, and a series of very public PR disasters. When you franchise a brand 25 times, maintaining quality control is a nightmare. Longtime customers began to notice that the food at the Jane and Finch location tasted nothing like the food in Pickering. Reviews started to flood in. Rice is mushy, chicken is dry, the oxtail is mostly fat and bone. But the issues went deeper than the kitchen. In December 2022, a major Sunrise location in Bramalea City Center was shut down by health inspectors. The report was harrowing: improper food storage, failure to prevent pests, and unsanitized utensils. For a brand that built itself on being a professional alternative to small shops, this was a devastating blow to their credibility. Then came the labor issues. In 2024, news broke that employees at several locations had won a massive settlement, nearly $250,000 in stolen wages and compensation. Allegations of toxic work environments, unpaid overtime, and audio-recorded cameras used to monitor staff began to circulate on social media.
Look at this shit. Sunrise is getting rinsed right now in Ajax.
Refuses to pay unpaid wages
Look at
for
this.
12 workers. They are owed over $94,000 in unpaid.
So you go on Sunrise?
Has refused
So you
to
teach
listen
the people
to
their money?
the workers.
The community restaurant was now being seen as a corporate entity that had lost touch with its roots. In recent years, there has been an attempt to save the brand. Lance's son, Marcus Davenport, took over several locations under the Sunrise One banner. Marcus acknowledged the brand's tarnished reputation. He spoke openly about how previous franchise owners had given the name a bad reputation and vowed to dispel the negative rumors by reconnecting with the community. But is it too late? In the age of social media, a bad batch of jerk chicken or a health inspector's padlock travels faster than a new marketing campaign can. The market has also changed. New players like Chubby's or Patois offer boutique experiences, while a new generation of authentic mom-and-pop shops are reclaiming the neighborhood streets with better prices and fresher ingredients. Sunrise Caribbean is a cautionary tale of the American and Canadian dream. It's a story of how three friends turned a 690-foot shop into a multi-million-dollar empire through pure innovation. But it's also a reminder that in the food industry, you are only as good as the last plate you served. You can have the best drive-thru in the world, but if the food inside the container doesn't taste like home anymore, the people will eventually stop coming. Whether Sunrise can return to its former glory remains to be seen. But for a generation of Torontonians, the memories of that first Scarborough shop will always taste better than the reality of the franchise today. This has been the story of Sunrise, a sun that rose fast, shone bright, and is now fighting to stay above the horizon.